What's going on, everybody? Welcome back here. Let's get into it. We're going to talk XRP. They are set to launch an ETF, probably several ETFs here in November. We're going to dive into that. Western Union announcing a Solana-based stablecoin, and Solana's ETF has been live now for a little while. 4 consecutive days of positive inflows, meaning people are buying the Solana ETF. There is demand there. That's bullish. The Cardano founder, Charles Hoskinson, calls out Peter Schiff. We're going to talk about that in the video. Bitcoin price predictions, which even if you don't hold Bitcoin, it's relevant to you if you own any crypto, because as Bitcoin goes, so goes everything else. So in this video, kind of a weekend recap and also kind of setting the stage for what's coming here this week. So make sure you guys stick around until the end. Right now, though, hit the like button for us. Subscribe if you haven't already. Appreciate you coming back. It's been kind of a quiet weekend in crypto overall. We do have some top stories, of course, to get into, but from a price action standpoint, some altcoins are moving. We'll talk about some of those, but mostly Bitcoin staying flat across the board, which, boring, but also solid. Anytime we see a consolidating market, which means sideways price action, the longer we see that consolidation, the bigger the breakout usually is, right? So during my 5 years in crypto, I've seen some long consolidation phases, right? We're talking upwards to a year where the market's just chop, 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 gain a little, give a little, gain a little, give a little. But what comes after that is usually big time price appreciation. It's all about patience, right? You got to be able to stay in this game every single day. It's moving fast. The narratives are always changing. So let's set the stage with an XRP kind of top headline right now. Let me share my screen with you guys. Make this a little easier. There we go. So US-based crypto firm Uphold has proposed crypto loans in XRP, ETH, USDC, and BTC. This was announced on October 28th. They revealed the plans to launch digital asset-backed loan services beginning in December. So this is huge. The move comes amid renewed confidence in the crypto market, expected to boost the practical use cases for many cryptos as well, where you could borrow against your XRP, ETH, Bitcoin. This is what I want to be able to do, especially with my Bitcoin, right? Not have to go sell my Bitcoin to, like, let's say, buy a property, but utilize it, borrow against it, use it as an active asset to borrow against. I would love for this to be a reality because I don't want to sell my Bitcoin, right? And, you might feel that way too. And even with ETH, XRP, maybe some stable coins. So this was a big news event as well. Canary Funds XRP ETF set for a potential launch on November 13th. We've seen a few different ETFs go live already. Solana, Litecoin, and HBAR all now have ETFs, in addition to Bitcoin and Ethereum, which have several. But the first pure spot XRP ETF could be just around the corner. Canary Capital filing an S1, an updated form there, and now it's to the SEC's desk for its proposed XRP ETF. And if NASDAQ approves the form, which is basically the form that makes this product tradable, the ETF will officially go live this month. The date could still shift and change a little bit depending on what the SEC has to do, if there's any revisions or anything like that. But we will be keeping our eyes on that. That is a huge story for XRP. Over 20 different ETFs have been filed for XRP. Okay, XRP and Solana have over 20 filed. Those two have the most of any of the altcoins out there. Solana just had their first go live. XRP trying to get their first one out the door as well. And I suspect there is some pent-up demand, so very much looking forward to seeing that happen. Cardano founder is clashing with Peter Schiff. You guys know Peter Schiff if you've been in crypto long enough. He's a big proponent of gold and not a big fan of Bitcoin. He's made a living pretty much looking stupid, to be honest. And I'm not saying Peter Schiff's stupid. He's a really smart guy, great investor. But stupid in the sense that he's been fading Bitcoin for a really long time. I mean, we're talking when Bitcoin was a couple $1,000s, and he's seen it now do over a 50x since he started bad mouthing Bitcoin. But Charles Hoskinson of Cardano publicly challenged longtime Bitcoin critic Peter Schiff, and he's going head to head with him on X. In an X post, Hoskinson dismissed the Bitcoin price forecast of Peter Schiff, claiming that Schiff's anti-Bitcoin takes no longer move the markets or sway serious investors. Early on, Peter Schiff actually had, I think, some relevancy in terms of price action, when Bitcoin was in its early days. But now people kind of look at it and just laugh, right? Like, dude, you've been wrong for decades. And, here we are, right? But anyway, thought that was interesting. And overall, too, we had some big news with that Solana-based stablecoin in Western Union. That's set to go live in early 2026. And the product dubbed the US dollar payment token is set to be launched next year. Western Union, which boasts a total of 100 million customers in more than 200 countries, are aiming to make transactions more efficient using Solana's blockchain, a Solana-based dollar-backed token. So this is great use case for Solana. Another one of those reasons why I think Sol is really underrated, undervalued here. One of many altcoins that I think is undervalued, but Solana's got a lot of institutional demand coming in now with ETFs and that stablecoin launch with Western Union in early 2026. Taking a look at the overall market real quick, we've got a few altcoins making some moves here, making some headway. Aster, the big DEX token, on Binance, up 27%. We got in this thing when it launched around 60 cents, so we're more than doubled up in our spot bag on Aster. I'm happy with that. A lot of people like to badmouth it. It's owned by CZ. We watched what happened with the BNB token. If you'd have bought the BNB token early, you would have had a clean 100x from, 8 years ago to now, right? So this is probably a longer term hold for me, especially because I got in early, relatively early. Some people got in way earlier than me, but I saw this thing, saw the value, kind of missed BNB because I wasn't fully in the market when they launched, that far back. But I don't want to miss this next one. I think this is kind of CZ's next baby, right? He's going to, coddle this thing and treat it just like he did the BNB token. He's one of the biggest voices in all of crypto. So his voice matters. The product's great. And so it's seeing some nice price appreciation here in the last 24 hours. ICP somehow woke up. It's up 18%. I've never been a huge proponent of ICP. I traded it a little bit back in 2021. The whole idea is awesome, but is it practical? This whole decentralized computer and how do you get people off of this old system that everybody's used to, right? And how do you get away from all the centralized authorities? Again, the principle I love, but practically speaking, can it work? And some may say, Zach, you're skeptical. You shouldn't be. I hear that too, right? If you want to, dive into it a little bit deeper, see what you see there, but it is up a little bit. Dash is up 20% too. This is a privacy coin following in Zcash's footsteps. We got to talk about Zcash for a minute. This thing has freaking just continued to explode. We got in here at first at like $160. Got it again on the pullback at 225. Went in heavy at 225. Took some profits at around 360 just to see this thing continue to go higher to 430, which is just absurd. But hey, you never sit there and say, man, I'm so pissed that I took profits and it kept going. Anytime you have a chance to lock in profits in the altcoin market, my suggestion is do it. Because that feeling is, it sucks a little bit because it went higher or whatever, right? But a win's a win. And I still have a good amount in the Zcash position, right? And now it's all house money. It's all money that I didn't even put up. I got my initial investment out plus about 10%. No matter what happens from here, I won the trade, right? And I think this is an important tool just to use across the board. But Zcash continues to just look phenomenal here. And it's going against all of the technical forecasts, right? The RSI, which is our relative strength index, something we look at on the charts, it's been overheated for a while, but sometimes it just doesn't matter. This is why TA is not like a bulletproof theory. It's just a tool, right? You got to look at fundamentals. You got to look at technical analysis. You got to look at narrative. You got to look at the social sentiment, what people are saying. You got to look at the FOMO effect of retail when people, fear of missing out. Everybody's hearing about it. I got to get in, got to get in. There's a lot of factors here. So it's going against the TA analysis for sure. But listen, this thing has, I think, a lot more room to go within the cycle. It's just shy of the top 20, by the way, ranked number 21 right now. But overall, some big storylines again with XRP, ETFs, big storylines with Solana. Bitcoin remaining steady here as we get ready to start a new week. We'll be back tomorrow. We'll have a ton of content out for you guys all week long. And looking forward to a new week in a crazy crypto world. Appreciate you guys for watching. Let me know your thoughts down below, and we'll see you guys in the next one.